Okay, folks, I'm your host, BKP. Welcome back. Good morning from the office, North Georgia's only live online morning show. Now, if you're wondering what this is on my desk, okay, it's a Valentine's basket. This is a Valentine's basket you could win. Over $200 in value in this basket, over $200, okay? Now, what you have to do is you have to check out Fetch Your News Facebook page. So go to Fetch Your News Facebook page for how to win over $200 value of gift certificates. There is a $20 Carrington Coffee in Jasper gift certificate in there. There's a $25 dinner certificate at River Street Tavern, $25 in there to River Street Tavern. There is a $50, so, guys, you can get your girl some flowers or whatever. There is a $50 Hometown Florist gift certificate in that. There's 2 movie tickets to over here to the Georgia Theater, GTC Movies, right here in LJ, the real fancy new theater with the seats. 2 movie tickets are in that basket. And Tea Trees Boutique Aromatherapy Massage, and they have that down as priceless. So there's a massage in there, aromatherapy massage. There are movie tickets. There is an opportunity for flowers, dinner, coffee, you name it. Now, what you have to do to get a chance to win this Valentine's basket is check out Fetch Your News Facebook page, and they're going to tell you how to win there on the Facebook page. All right? So there you go. Over $200 right there. All right. What do we have? Let's say this. All right. Now, let me just do this and get this over with because let's go through this. Now, we had, 36 days, 35 days. And the one thing I want to highlight and take a couple minutes to do this, and I know some others have done it on some other shows, but and there was a lot of talk about this yesterday. Where did the crisis go? And I want to look at it from a point that I really hope the American people in a whole are starting to pick up on how the media manufactures these crises. They're not real. They manufacture them. The crisis disappears overnight, no matter what it may be. They pull out the satellite trucks. They leave. They're on to the next biggest and better and greatest crisis that they create. If you think after the shutdown they're not ready to create another crisis, in fact, they're so upset the shutdown ended, they want to lead you to believe that you're still in a shutdown, okay, because it's looming. The second one is looming. So there are, what do we got, February 15th. Remember CNN, everybody went and had the crisis government shutdown clock, the government shutdown clock. And it ran there 35 days, 8 hours and 36 seconds, and it was ticking, this crisis. Now we're on a shutdown, a looming shutdown, and the next crisis they create. Okay, so before the election, the President of the United States, Donald J. Trump, sent troops to the southern border to stop the caravans from just pouring in as they invaded our country. Pouring in through areas of the border that have no barrier or nothing there to prevent them from coming into this country. Military went down there to build tents, to try to do something, to build cities, tents, put fencing up, to try to stop this humanitarian crisis. Okay? To try to see what was entering our country, whether it be MS-13 gang members, illnesses, tuberculosis, no matter what it may be. Who these children are, everything. A crisis. Caravan after caravan. Somebody is funneling the money down to El Salvador, and Honduras going through El Salvador, and they pick up steam, they get through Mexico. But the president sent the troops down there to stop them. We have had border security agents that have been there for years on the job. We have had ICE. We have Kirstjen Nielsen, the Homeland Security Secretary of Homeland Security. We have had professional after professional discuss the crisis on the border, okay? Discuss it over and over. We have tape, video of each and every one of these low-life politicians, predominantly Democrats, voting and discussing the need in the past for a barrier on our southern border. We have all of that. The crisis remains. It remains. It is a disaster of great proportions on our southern border. It has not stopped. Well before the election, remember? Well before the election. Oh, we were just drumming it up. Republicans were just whipping, trying to scare the American people into voting Republican on the southern border, issue of the southern border. We went right into Christmas. We have the sergeant, is it Singh? I forget his name. I'm sorry about that. I'm just doing it by memory. We have the sergeant out there in California, killed, leaving a wife and 3-month-old baby. The sergeant that was killed happened to be a legal immigrant that became a citizen and learned English and assimilated. Just like Tom Brochow, okay, Blochow from NBC said Sunday, they're not coming and assimilating, and they need to. And they're having little brown grandbabies. Oh, wow, I can say brown grandbabies now. Thank you, Tom Brokaw. Look it up, a.k.a. Tom Blochow. The crisis continues at our border. The strain, the stress in almost $150 to $200 billion a year in cost for us to educate, house, feed. The list goes on. Healthcare for these illegals. 150 to 200 billion a year in these costs. The crisis continues. It's not slowing down. But yet, the media can create a crisis and close a crisis overnight. And they will create the next one. Let's go to number 1. Okay? Now, on Friday, we had reports of air traffic controllers not showing up for work. And we had reports of LaGuardia there in New York International with flight delays, major flight delays, and some cancellations due to not being fully staffed in the air traffic controller tower. That was Friday. I guess they all just showed back up because since Friday, I've not read a report where air traffic controllers are trying to restaff. Okay? Number 4. Now, this was on day 26. Okay? Remember, day 26, 5 hours and 6 minutes and 49 seconds of this crisis. Government shutdown day 27. Okay? Look at the trash. Now, did they show you any trash yesterday? Did they show you the workers out picking up the trash, cleaning up all this trash? But you remember on day 26, the trash piling up everywhere. I don't remember any reports Saturday, Sunday, or Monday. This crisis with the trash is over. Let's go to Number 8. This was just on day 26. 5 hours, 5 minutes, and 19 seconds. Celebrity chef feeding unpaid federal workers. Disaster relief group gives free meals to government workers in D.C. Disaster relief group. The disaster was over Friday afternoon. They packed up their tents. They went home. I mean, did everybody recover overnight? Where are the pictures? Okay. Number 9. I remember this one, 26. Number 9, day 27. I remember this guy all too clear, very clear that morning saying, he's a government contractor, Department of Justice, and he's a government, and he said, I was home watching TV, and they said that there's food and coffee for anybody that's felt any effect of the shutdown. So I just came down here. Now, I remember him because he was affected. He said he was watching TV and he felt, and the reason I bring him up, okay, is let me go to this one here. Josh, give me, see that guy there? I'll never forget, never, till the day I die, that guy just saying, well, they said anybody affected in any way, come on down. And I just wanted to, figured I'd come down and get some free food. Go to number 7. 22% personally inconvenienced by shutdown. The guy just should go to the last picture. That's the guy in the poll. He's in the 22%. Back to the 22. 22% personally inconvenienced. There was no crisis, folks. I'm going to tell you the crisis out of this that nobody talks about in a minute. But there was no crisis. 22% personally inconvenienced. Inconvenienced. So you drill that down and you take another 10 off that if you want to, okay? And, let's just bring it on down there. Maybe, let's say 10, 12, 13% that actually really were impacted, okay? For some reason, some way. All right, but inconvenienced. And then we have number 10. Has anybody gone to check on this woman? You remember I took this picture the other day in Lexington, Kentucky, MSNBC. The last thing before we go, federal worker, this is a dire emergency. Has anybody gone to check on this lady? Because there's no way in a dire emergency, in this hostage crisis, they were taken hostage at a dire emergency, starving, losing their cars, their houses, no food, going to the food banks. Could they recover between Friday and Monday? I just don't see it possible. Remember this lady here, number 12? Remember this? They were, give me number 12. Remember they were going all over and talking about, in just 3 or 4 days, your food stamp card will not work. Well, there's been reports of the network not accepting some food stamp cards. Federal government shutdown endangers SNAP benefits. They went to Orlando, Florida, and they found this lady, and she was in total fear that her and her baby, although she cannot find the daddy, and the daddy's ass is so sorry he will not work, and the daddy will not bring or help bring food into the house. She was worried the government could not take care of her in just a matter of days. Crisis averted. Remember this guy here, number 13? The faces. Remember, these were the faces of the shutdown. Local families struggling to make ends meet. I think that's what it says there at the bottom. And this was out in Arizona. The faces of the shutdown. He was trying to make a decision on what to do. He had to get his son's therapy. The faces of the... Has anybody checked on these people? Number 14. These shutdown. I thought I would go down memory road. It seems like it was just Friday. It was a crisis. Why just Friday? The deep state media was doing things like right here. Shutdown struggles. Forced to work for free. Forced to work for free. Wearing a disabled Vietnam veteran hat in Dallas. The shutdown struggles. Has anybody checked? And how about this one? Did they close? Or maybe, let's say this. Let's go to number 16. I just picked out a handful of pictures. I clipped all of these pictures through the shutdown because I don't want to ever forget. I don't think America should ever forget what we went through as a country for 35 days. I think we should remind ourselves of the greatest disaster brought on by Donald Trump since Katrina. I think it's far too early to forget what we went through just Friday. Food pantry for federal workers springing up. This is day 33. Sonia Smith. I don't know what I'm going to do to pay my bills. There's the food pantries in New York. Maybe they're giving that food out to the homeless or something today or something. But I really, when I went through this, I decided, number 17, another picture, cup of noodles. We're back to cup of noodles, man. Put it in a bag. And I mean, I know if all else fails, you could find water at the bus station while you're sleeping next to a locker, all curled up and homeless, and you could heat that up on a radiator and have cup of soup. Never forget, right? Never forget. Shutdown of 2019. Hashtag shutdown 2019. Never forget, man. I mean, there will be families that will be sitting around the table in 2022, 2024, 2026, and they'll be saying, remember the shutdown of 2019? I'll never forget it, man. Never forget it. We had to eat cups of noodles. Let's go to number 18. Five former DHS secretaries fund the critical mission of DHS. 800,000 federal workers to miss second paycheck. It was created crisis. Okay. There you go. And I told you this, all right. And give me this and I'll tell you why. I told you number 15. Last Friday, and just to put it, I did a segment yesterday. If you go to our YouTube channel, you will find it yesterday, what really happened last Friday that caused the President of the United States to open the government back up. Friday, there would have been another paycheck missed. LaGuardia was holding up planes on purpose for the media to get pictures of them sitting there in line to take off with no air traffic controllers. And they were doing everything. And if you noticed, and I'll say this and let it go, but if you'll notice last week, during the week, they were starting to get the representatives of the union, okay? The union, the air traffic controllers union, representatives of the TSA union. They were getting these unions on there saying we must fund and what this is going to cause, and we must fund TSA and air traffic controllers, so on and so forth. They were prepared. The media was in on it. They were totally prepared to nosedive the Super Bowl in Atlanta. Prepared to. They were prepared to hold up flights. They were prepared to make Atlanta Hartsfield International a disaster. The list goes on what they were prepared to do, which would do what? It would saturate local Georgia media, okay? It would saturate local Georgia media, and don't think for 1 minute that our Georgia media is conservative by any means. We have our AJC, and we have all the little local networks downtown. and they were prepared to run all the stories they could about what Donald Trump's government shutdown did to the Super Bowl. And then long after you guys got on the plane and went home, got on your private jets and went back home, and the Patriots left with the Lombardi Trophy for the 7th time or whatever, long after it was done and over with, and somebody allegedly murdered somebody up in Buckhead, when all the blood is wiped up and everybody's in the air and gone, it would leave our local media here to start running stories on the losses. And it would trickle into the national media of what you would see all these reports of, you know, the Super Bowl generally brings in $1 billion, and this year it only brought in $780 million due to the government shutdown. And they would start running all the analysts of what the local economy lost, okay? It's a big thing here in Georgia, and they start saying what the local economy lost, and Georgia, downtown Atlanta, was poised to make this and make that, and they didn't based on the shutdown, and to do anything they could to poison the 2020 water for David Perdue and Donald Trump in Georgia. Trust me, that's my take. So the crisis is over. We are waiting for the next one at any time that the media cares to create. They are sitting on their satellite trucks right now. They got a day or two off, and they're not out there hunting overflowing garbage cans. But State of the Union is next week. We're going to take a break, and we'll be right back. Now go find out how to win this, and we'll give you more information when we get back. Josh, take us to break.